Well, hello and welcome once again to the DCL podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly. Well, welcome to our first Snippets. We're going to do a couple of them and just cover some of the things that we did. We started off in. So first off, I guess it's a Very Merrytime cruise. And joining me is Anna.
Hello.
With the kids this time. Actually brought the kids with on this cruise.
We don't know where they are. They are here.
Yeah, they are here. But this is actually day 6, and we're finally getting around to doing a couple of snippets. We'll throw some stuff together for those that like the sounds of the ships and everything like that. I got some horns and some other different things, and we'll splice it all in, and hopefully it'll be a fun look back on our 2023 Very Merrytime cruise on the beautiful Disney Fantasy.
Yes.
What do you think of the Fantasy?
We definitely enjoyed the Fantasy.
Especially at Christmas time.
Especially Christmas time. It's just beautiful. It's magical.
Why?
The lights, the decorations, it just feels very Christmassy at every turn.
So people that have listened to this podcast a long time know that I always talk about the music. I thought I got a kick out of the fact that it was like full-on Christmas for the first 3 days on the ship and everything like that, and then we got to Tortola, and it immediately switched to
Caribbean,
Jimmy Buffett, a lot of Hawaiian music,
right? Which I think is funny.
Yeah,
but,
a lot of Alani type music.
A lot of Alani music.
Yeah, and then Pirates for Pirate Night, and now we're back on the third and last sea day, and it's all Christmas.
It's Christmas again. Back to Christmas.
So,
we feel like we've had, like, this is day 6 of our cruise. But we feel like we've had 3 separate, distinct vacations.
And how would you characterize?
I would say the pre-cruise Disney, the Christmas, 3 nights of Christmas, and we are now on the sea day of our Caribbean vacation.
Right. Which is actually it's actually
We've
perfect.
loved it. It's been the perfect itinerary for a holiday cruise. Perfect.
And I'm hoping that with the Treasure coming on, that they don't mess with the Fantasy.
Now that we've decided this is our thing, we don't want them to mess with it.
Don't put it on just a 5-day like the Dream out of Fort Lauderdale when it gets down there. But anyways, I digress. We'll see what happens. So we're up at Currents. I am currently sitting in Chad's favorite chair. There's a little plaque here that says Herr Swindell.
Right, exactly.
That I think the team from Meyer Werft attached because this is one of his favorite places. And I do believe this is like their first Disney cruise on the Eastern Caribbean. So yeah, he texted me and said that. So I think that's kind of cool. So nice. Cheers to you, Chad. We're up at Currents just for you. So we're just gonna we'll touch really quick on Disney World. We didn't really do anything. The one thing that I will say is we stayed at Saratoga Springs that has been completely redone since I stayed there last. Totally a very needed and a very well done redo. Totally great. We've stayed there a bunch for the Run Disney events. This is the first time the kids had been there, but totally love the location that you can, especially if we've actually never done the parks from there, so I'm not sure how that would all flow, but we weren't planning park days, so it was just really nice to be able to walk over to Disney Springs and get food and wander through the shops. And we did something on the full day that we had. So we arrived in Orlando on Thursday and weren't going to be getting on the ship until Saturday. So Friday, we did something that Steve and I have made fun of. The kids, we've all 4 made fun of over and over and over again on layovers, on trips to Orlando for cruises. We have made fun of the pirate golf on International Drive. It actually looks it's always looked kind of cool, but it's just totally like the vacation, cheesy, go play some mini golf kind of thing.
Yeah, so I'm not sure if my personal expectations were very low, but I loved it. It was super well done. It was very well maintained. It was super fun. There were facts at every hole about Blackbeard. It was great.
Yeah, you get to pick your challenge. There's 2 different courses you could do of 18 holes, or you could do all of them if you wanted to.
We were not up for that.
No, but we did the 18. It was perfect. Yeah,
it was perfect.
Yeah, it was super fun. And then we did dinner that night at Steakhouse 71, which was good. It was good. Just for a side note, it was kind of funny because we showed up, we're at the bar getting drinks, and they're like, we're hoping to get the electricity back on.
We're like, what?
The electricity back on? It was well, I guess the electricity went out, and a bunch of people left.
In the restaurant. It sounds like not in the kitchen, but in the dining room area.
Yeah.
We really did get the full scoop. Like, yeah.
Anyways, that worked out good. We did that, and then for those of you who are DVC members, we hadn't been up there since I don't even remember the last time I was up there, but
way pre-COVID.
Yeah, we decided we wanted to go see the fireworks. We were like, take a chance, go up, see if we could get up to top of the world. There was like nobody at the elevator. Got up there. There's hardly, I don't want to say there's hardly anybody there, but there's plenty of space outside to get
not crowded.
Yeah, to get a spot, and we got a great view of the Christmas fireworks over the Magic Kingdom. So
enjoyed it.
Definitely check out top of the world, and the Villain's Lair or whatever it is, the inside bar space was not busy at all, even when we got up there. So your results may vary, but probably on a random weekday or something like that, it's probably not that bad to get up there if you're DVC.
Right, for sure.
What else can we do? Okay, so let's jump on the cruise. So it's a 7-night Eastern Caribbean, just kind of the normal 2 days at sea, Tortola, St. Thomas, day at sea, and now we're headed back to Castaway.
So we boarded the ship on the 23rd of December. So those 2 sea days were Christmas Eve and Christmas Day, which were perfect.
And why were they perfect in your mind?
Because there was nothing else to do except Christmas, right? Like we could, we did Christmas music trivia. We did, they had a big, on Christmas morning, they had a big spread with all sorts of candy and cookies and hot chocolate in the lobby. Carolers. We went to the tree lighting. It was just very, very super festive, super got everybody in the spirit.
Yeah, so the ship's obviously decorated the nines, just like the parks are, and it's getting loud. They're serving drinks up here at Currents, which is good. But some of the special things that they did, we went to the tree lighting. That happens the first night, and that was super fun.
It was super fun, and they do it twice to like the opposite sides of your dinner, which is great. I appreciate that.
Which when we were on the Wonder for Magic, for
Halloween,
the High Seas,
they did it once.
They only did it once, and we missed it because we were going to Palo that night, but they only had it once in between the two dinners.
Right.
So it was nice that they had that twice to give people an opportunity to do it twice.
Yes.
So that was fun. And then they had the Dickens Carolers, they call them the Very Merrytime Carolers this year. So, but same kind of thing where they go around the lobby singing Christmas songs. It was fun to watch them. What else did they do? Yeah, Christmas Eve. Nothing special. The dinners were all the same. Hold on a second. The dinners were all the same except for Christmas Day. They had ham and turkey
on Christmas Day.
On Christmas Day that you could do. So, anyways.
I guess I appreciated that Christmas Eve was formal night, and there were probably more people more dressed up than I've ever seen on any of our Disney cruises.
Yeah.
And my assumption is that that's because it's the holiday.
Yeah, people were dressed to the nines,
like tuxedos
for
and stuff. It was it was pretty cool.
Pajama day was Christmas Day. Everybody was in their pajamas. Yes. So, and I will say it's kind of an interesting crowd. It's a real mixture of people. So it's not like a whole bunch of platinums and golds. There's a lot of silvers and a lot of first-time cruises on this sailing too, which it's been a really enjoyable sailing to get to meet several people along the way and talk to like their experiences and why they came.
Why they're here? Yeah,
came on this cruise. So Santa comes Christmas Eve. He and Mrs. Claus.
They do a cool thing for anybody who hasn't been on this, this is new to us. Like especially for families with small children, I assume, where families brought like all of the Christmas gifts. They open up the D Lounge for you to go and do like family Christmas gift opening on Christmas Day. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, it was really festive down there. So they had the D Lounge open. You could exchange gifts and do that type of stuff. They had all kinds of crafts you could do down there. And then the main lobby itself was just packed with, they had hot chocolate and cocoa, and then there's a big spread with a bunch of gingerbread houses that they'd made, that the chefs had made. And in front of those gingerbread houses were tables with cookies from like Italy, like cake? The cake that you can get in the Italian cake that they serve.
Totally gone from my head.
But they had stuff from like around the world, like kind of Christmas snacks.
Cool.
It wasn't just like cookies. It was like really good,
all different kinds of stuff.
Authentic stuff from around the world, from things that are the way different cultures celebrate Christmas, which was really cool. So I keep saying but I think the way you said this was perfect for us as far as like 2 days of Christmas sea days, and then we woke up in Tortola to go do our
beach
day.
Because after 2 days of nothing to do, we needed a beach day to recover.
Right.
I guess it was the holidays, so it wasn't nothing to do, but it was,
Yeah. So tips for Christmas. Not every door is decorated. We forgot our stuff.
Yeah.
But, bring some decorations for your doors if you want to do that. Make sure you don't bring anything that plugs in, because anything that plugs in, they're going to take it from you and give it back to you when you get back. So, but lots of people have lights with battery operated, so you can do that for sure around your door.
We brought our stockings.
Santa
filled our stockings.
Yeah, and then I thought the D lounge, we didn't do it because our kids are bigger. But if you have younger kids,
that would be bringing all of your stuff. Yeah,
that would be super fun to bring. A couple presents to do that. And they didn't.
And I mean, it depends on families' traditions too, because I mean, we do the gifts from all of us to all of us on Christmas Eve, and then it's just the Santa gifts on Christmas Day, which is for our family. Santa fills the stockings and Santa brings one gift, and so that wouldn't have been a big deal for us to have drug those along, but other families have different traditions.
Right. So definitely a thumbs up on Christmas Eve, Christmas Day on the Fantasy, and we'll leave the snippets at that, and we'll come back and touch on Tortola and St. Thomas. So with that, we'll say goodbye, and we'll see you on the next snippets. Goodbye,
See
everybody.
you next time.
Okay, so we're back. Although we didn't move, we're still in currents, and they haven't kicked me out of Chad's seat yet.
Not yet.
So. Gonna go and read my book here in a little bit. But the other thing that I didn't really touch on is the Cove Cafe has been amazing. The coffee's down there this time.
Yeah, now I have joined the crowd of addicts.
Yes.
I have my own coffee card now.
Yeah, Nova. I think Nova. Well, Nova definitely led the charge amongst the three of us, and I know a lot of you have always enjoyed the Cove Cafe over the years, and I generally use the cheap free included coffee.
Me too. I've never.
But I'm really appreciating the cappuccinos on this cruise, and the Cove is. Oh, okay. So I will say this in case you missed it on Facebook, but next time you're on the Fantasy in the Cove, when you're looking at the bar, look to the left. You'll see a picture of Walt down in South America during their South America tour, for those of you who are Disney history aficionados, and watch that picture. There's a little bit of Imagineering magic that happens.
Kind of cool.
I won't give it away, but next time around here, go check it out. It's kind of cool. All right, so let's talk about what we did in Tortola and St. Thomas. So it's pretty funny because last time we were here in Tortola, so how long years?
Andrew was 12, so it was 5 years ago. None of us have any memory of Tortola. Like, we know we went.
I remember what we did, but I don't remember any part of the island. And I remember Nova saying, "Why didn't anybody tell me how beautiful this island is?"
And we were like, we didn't remember.
But it is stunning.
It really is.
How beautiful it is. I mean, you and I both have a love for Hawaii.
Right.
But this...
It's different. It's green. Yeah.
I think it outdoes Hawaii just in this, like, kind of spectacularness.
The bays and stuff.
Yeah, just because the land, or the islands rise right up out of the ocean and up. I mean, there's obviously beaches, but up to they're not as high as the Hawaiian Islands, but
no.
Most islands, they're kind of flat, and then they kind of builds up the mountain and everything like that. But these are really amazing. And St. Thomas the same way, really.
Yeah.
But Tortola, just because there's less houses on it, was really spectacular.
Definitely.
So what do we have planned?
We took a boat to another island called Jost Van Dyke.
Yost, I think.
Yost, Jost. And then from there took a little shuttle to the beach, and we got to spend a good chunk of time at the beach. We've kind of discovered that shore excursions that have port adventures that have more than one thing, if the beach is included, there's not much beach time, so we kind of we opted for this one that was just basically take you to the beach. We had lunch there. It was great, and laid on our lounge chairs.
Yeah, it was White Beach, and they kind
White
of
Bay.
White Bay, excuse me, White Bay, and there was kind of a beach area run by a bar basically, and so Disney rented out the whole thing all day, and there was people that were there in the morning, and then we stayed for a longer period of time, and then as we were leaving, there was like some later evening excursions or later in the afternoon excursions that were coming. And so you had the lounge, and the water was just absolutely stunning.
It was gorgeous. I mean, and we all went out and swam and floated around for a little bit, and tried to made sure that we knew that Alex knew we were just swimming for relaxation. We were not racing each other.
Not competing.
We were not competing because we would not have been able to keep up with him.
Yeah. And if you want to snorkel if you don't want to bring all the snorkel stuff with, just bring some swim goggles.
Yeah. So there was 3 people that were out when we were all kind of out swimming around, and who were seeing all kinds of cool fish and turtles, but we didn't have any goggles with us.
We did. I left them in
the
cabin.
We just didn't bring them, I guess. Yeah. But it would have been cool to just be able to tuck your head under the water and swim.
Yeah. So the water was amazing. The food was good. It was like a barbecue. They were cooking the chicken up as we were sitting there. You could smell it.
Chicken ribs.
Ooh, the chicken smelled good.
Yeah.
And it was really good. Barbecue chicken, some beans and rice.
Ribs. I had ribs.
You had ribs, some fruit, and some salad, and kind of a pasta salad as well. And you also got your choice of either rum punch, or just punch,
or
water, or a soda, I think. Something like that. Anyways, but yeah, well worth it. It wasn't like crazy expensive. I think it was like $80.
Oh, really?
A person, $80 or $90 a person, and so you get a 45-minute boat ride over. Really get to see the islands. It was a really nice boat ride there and back. To see like some of the other different islands and other sides to the island, so
it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Well, you realize there's 4 main islands in the Virgin Islands, but there's like 1,000 little islands.
Right.
So it was pretty cool.
So that's what we did. And Tortola came back and wandered around a little bit. Most of the shops were actually closed for Christmas, for the holidays.
Right.
So I was looking to try and get a T-shirt, but everything was kind of closed.
Yeah.
There's like one place open, but it was kind of cheesy, so kind of passed on that one. So then from there, we took it's a whole 19 miles from Tortola over to St. Thomas, kind of like, it's actually closer than San Diego to Ensenada.
Right, yeah.
And so
but it took all night.
It took all night to do that. Went over to St. Thomas. What do we have planned there?
We went scuba diving in St. Thomas. So Andrew, from probably like 6-7 years old, was asking to learn to scuba dive. And when the place that we found in Hawaii to do that, he had to be 13. So we decided, I don't know, when he was 11, 12, in there somewhere, that we would do that for his 13th birthday. So before we spent all the money to get him certified, we thought, wow, maybe we should do a Discover Scuba. So when Andrew was 12, the last time we did this cruise, he and I went and did the Discover Scuba on a cruise and loved it, and the rest is history. But so yesterday we went and we actually got to go with the certified divers at the place where we had done the Discover. So it was really cool.
Yeah.
Get down there. It was an amazing dive.
Great boat, great crew. I'll get the name in the show notes if you're interested, but otherwise just book it through Disney. There's probably about 20, I'm just going to guess, 20 Discover Scuba divers, and then there's probably about 16 of us.
15 of us, yeah.
15 of us that were certified, and the boat was big enough to handle all of it. Super comfortable. The equipment was good. We loved the dive team.
Yeah, they were. Yeah.
Shelby and Steve, the 2 people that
took the certified divers out.
We took the certified divers out. We went with Steve. So the first dive was just a reef dive down to about 60 feet, and we kind of followed him along, and that was got to see a lot of fish, a lot of coral, all that type of stuff, and then came back
cool,
up.
Like rock formation.
Yeah. And then the second dive was down to a wreck.
Yeah. Which was cool.
It was called Shipwreck Bay.
Shipwreck Bay. And there's a very long history that we won't go all into about the ship that was... It was the Senora Cartanza, I believe.
Yeah.
Which had been a
was a cargo ship in World War II, and then eventually became a drug running ship,
which is
in a
why
later
it ended
life.
up in the bay.
There's a long story to it.
It's a very long story.
Really interesting story, which they told us on the way back. But it was broken up into 3 pieces that we got to see. So
moved around by a hurricane. It was So
we saw shrimp, some spiny lobster, a lot of parrotfish, a lot of different kinds of fish. No sharks.
No sharks.
Pufferfish. Yeah, the pufferfish. I like those pufferfish. They're
Me too.
cool.
Which I didn't even say, but like when Andrew and I dove in Cabo, like there were a billion of those pufferfish, like floating along with us as we went through this sand chute. There was just one lone guy there yesterday.
He's lost.
He's been displaced from Cabo.
Made it over here. He's lost, trying to figure out where he's
like,
going.
wait a minute, where are my people? I'm good, thank you. Yeah.
So, but yeah, really good dive. Definitely recommend the dive in St. Thomas. It was probably, I'm not gonna say like what we got to see was the most exciting, but it was all good. But I really appreciated the dive crew and the boat they were on, the captain that ran the ship and everything else. So that was really well worth it.
And I appreciate, I guess I appreciate, because I'm diving with a 13-year-old child, that they treat him like he knows what he's doing, which is appreciated. Right? They
They were impressed that
he did. Although, again, as our swimmer, he should have the best breathing endurance out of all of us. But when we went down for the first dive, was doing flips and so like swimming really fast and then swimming slow and like kind of being a little bit of a nut, being a 13-year-old. And so he ran out of air and he had to go back.
Yeah.
And then we couldn't actually figure out why he had run out of air, but our dive guide was like, well, usually you want to do as little activity as possible, and you were doing flips and stuff. It didn't work.
Right. So, anyway, great time diving in in St. Thomas. Then we got off, and there was 3 ships in port that day. The Norwegian Encore, the Carnival Rusty Bucket, and the Vista, Carnival Vista.
It had seen better days.
It was, they need to do some paint on that one.
Yeah.
It was pretty.
It probably isn't as bad as it looked.
Yeah, it was pretty rusty. Yeah, I'm sure the inside of the ship was fine, but the outside was looking pretty. Like they needed a little love for it. But
and then we got back to the Disney ship, and they're painting, and it doesn't even look like it needs to be painted. Maybe you guys should go over and help that other crew.
No, they need some help over there, but anyway. Not to pick on Carnival.
Sorry,
I'm sure that. Anyways, it was. Everybody looked like they're having a good time. Three different cruise ships in town. And we wandered around a little bit to the shops and stuff, and that was about it. I mean, we were up early to dive.
Yeah.
It was a 7:30 meet in the D lounge.
Yeah.
So we were up at 6:30. So I don't think anybody was really wanted to hang out the rest of the day.
We came back, and I have to because I'm good with the diving, but not so good with the dive boat, as I think we've talked about before.
Right.
And so I have a little regimen with some double dose of Dramamine and a patch, and so I needed a nap when we got back.
Yeah.
Which I did on deck. It was lovely.
So we'll talk about just a couple more things here. The food has been good overall. I think the food's been really good. Last night we went to Palo, and we did
Never Disappoints.
Never Disappoints. That was excellent as well. And if you guys are on board either the Fantasy this year or the Dream, he'll be back on the Dream next summer, which we talked to him because he's going to be on our Norway cruise. Fernando is the wine sommelier, and he does some of the drink tastings and stuff.
He's amazing.
He's amazing. We've done 2 different drink tastings with him, I think, before.
Right, and we've had him pick wine for us 2 times at least at Apollo, and
it was excellent last night.
Yes.
Right. So, anyways, if you happen to have Fernando for the wine tastings or the drink tastings, he usually does the wine, champagne, and then what was the other one we did?
We did chocolate and liqueur.
Chocolate and liqueur. That was a good one. He's great. So look for him. Also, I want to give a huge shout out to Felice and Nigel and Ooh La La, which is we've been able to.
They're rock stars.
Jordan Caswell's on board, and he was on the podcast a couple years ago. He's the violinist. He's amazing. He just moves around and plays his music, and
he's great.
He's just so entertaining to watch.
Great entertainer.
So, but he's played in Ooh La La quite a few times, so we watched him there.
And La Piazza.
And La Piazza too. And Nigel and Felice are just amazing in Ooh La La. Great. They'll take care of you.
Nigel and Felice are forcing me to try to speak Spanish.
Yeah. But I'll let you talk. One other thing we'll throw out there. I want to give give them credit too, because they've got the normal shows on board. Aladdin and Frozen is what the main shows are, but they brought a talented group on called All That.
Yep.
And it's a men's clogging group, and we saw them. I thought it was a percussion group. We went up to the tube and saw them there, and I thought, well, okay, let's go see. I thought it was going to be like buckets and boards, but
that's totally what we were expecting. It's
what
not.
did you think?
They were amazing. It was definitely a like. I mean, tap dancing is old, right? Tap dancing is like from an art form from the past, and they had cool music and they looked cool, and it's like tap, which they did also explain the difference between Irish dancing, tap dancing, and clogging, and what they do is actually clogging, but just like bringing it to the next generation. So we watched them in the adult show in the tube, and then we took Alex with us to see him in the Walt Disney Theater, and he was like, yeah, I didn't think I knew anything about that, but I didn't know anything about that, but it was super cool. I'm glad I saw it. I'm glad we went. So
yeah.
it was definitely like I really appreciate that, because there are so many super cool art forms out there that you need to mix it up a little bit to engage the next generation, so that your art form stays relevant, stays alive, right?
Yeah.
So.
And as a group, I think that the group has kind of morphed a little bit, because it's like definitely bigger. They showed some videos in the main show that they did. They've been runners up twice on America's Got Talent, so they've been around for a while, but there wasn't like a ton of people that went to see it. Part of it, I think, is just Christmas, and the families are just doing different things.
Right.
I don't think that any of the shows... What's been great about this is it's been a busy cruise, but nothing is like crowded. Like sometimes you get on the ship, it feels like everybody's trying to do the same thing.
And I think that's because it's the holidays. So
I think it's a lot of... Yeah, I think it's because of the holidays. So the theater wasn't necessarily packed for this, but I want to give Disney a huge amount of credit for bringing something like this on to expose... like
something different, yeah.
Yes, just something different. And I really enjoyed it. They did a clogging routine to Justin Bieber's what's this Christmas song?
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Santa Claus is coming to town.
Yeah.
And so they did some mashups like that where they had video going on the screen while they're like clogging in front of it. So if you get a chance to see all that, it may not be in your wheelhouse. It may not sound like, wow, I can't wait to see this.
I bet you'll enjoy it more.
I bet you'll enjoy it, because I really enjoyed it. So with that, I guess I will say that they did have Pirate Night, and they had pirate fireworks.
I love
no Christmas fireworks.
I love the fireworks.
Yeah.
I love fireworks of any kind.
Right. So with that, I guess we'll sign it off. It's been another enjoyable day at sea. You've had your massage.
I had my massage.
We lost at general knowledge trivia, so our streak continues of not winning any medals. Frank,
we did get some of the answers that other people did not.
Yeah.
But we were also wildly off on a few.
Right. So Frank and Amber and all the rest of you who win trivia on a more regular basis,
we need you.
Props to you. We need to cruise with you guys. But anyways, we're going to relax the rest of this day, and we'll come back after Castaway and talk about that before we get off the ship. So,
sounds good.
Thanks for coming back, everybody. We'll see you in the next Snippets. Goodbye.
Your attention, please. This is the officer of the watch speaking from the bridge. At the end of this announcement, we will be sounding our ship's whistle. We recommend to our guests on the open decks to cover your ears.
Well, welcome back to our third Snippets. We are on Castaway Cay. Not quite as warm a day, but not as bad as last year. It's a little cool and windy, but joining me is my beautiful wife, Anaway.
Hello.
And our youngest, Alex. How you doing?
Good. I'm doing pretty good. How are you?
We got some fun music in the background and everything like that. I just thought I'd talk about a couple different things that I kind of forgot to talk about, and then we'll talk about Castaway real quick. Anaway and I had a chance to talk to Captain Fabian, who was our captain, or who is our captain. And he was really nice. We
super personable.
Yeah, we were out by the pool, and he stopped by and said hi. We talked to him probably about 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was kind of cool just to kind of hear, like, so because he's senior, he's 10 months on, 10 months off.
No, weeks.
10 weeks off, sorry. Yeah, 10 months, that's a long time. 10 weeks on, 10 weeks off, and then he goes home, and I forgot to ask him, like, how it works as far as the ship schedules go. Like, you know, how he rotates and stuff like that.
Right.
But that's kind of his schedule. And then he talked about if anybody kind of followed the Fantasy and the weather on the East Coast, probably everybody that's on the East Coast knew about it, but the Fantasy actually stayed in port the cruise before us because the
Yes.
weather was so bad, and he was saying he made that call. And why did he make that call, Wake?
Well, he said, so the first couple of days of our cruise were rockier than I remember cruises having been in the past. And he said that the seas on our first couple of days were like 8 to 10 foot waves, and that first day at sea on the previous cruise would have been about 20 feet. And he said, and you've got 5,000 people on board, and 2,000 to 3,000 of them have never been on a ship before at all. So to put people who've never, he said, to encounter seas like that mid-cruise is different than encountering seas like that on the first day when people they've never been on a ship, they don't have their sea legs, and they don't know what to expect. Right. It's going to be like people could get hurt. It's going to be a vomit fest. He didn't say that. Those are my words. He did not say that at all.
But
that was me reading between the lines. But yeah, I thought that was great that he was empowered to make that call, number one, and number two, that was thinking about the guests and safety and comfort.
And obviously, they weren't the only ship that stayed in port. The Great Big Huge Royal Caribbean ship stayed in port that day too. I remember seeing some video of that. But it does give you like, I mean, we all kind of know this, I think, or we all kind of assume this, that Disney gives their captains and their crew a lot of empowerment to do what's right and keep the crew and their guests safe. And I think that was like a prime example. And they did a really good job. They pivoted. They missed Cozumel that time.
I think you said, yeah.
But, the entertainment staff and the crew did a really good job, adding...
Just make up for it.
Adding activities for that extra sea day. So, good kudos to them to make the smart decision. Sometimes weather's not the greatest. Like today in Castaway, it's like, it's not terrible, but it's cool and windy and
but it's dry.
Unlike last year. Remember that, Alex?
Yeah. It was just pouring rain.
It was a total downpour. So I thought we'd just bring you on real quick and we'll talk about Castaway. But how's the cruise been for you?
It's been pretty good. Food's been good as always. Weather's been nice. Good kids.
Got to dive?
Yeah, got to dive. That was fun.
What was your favorite part about diving?
The wreck. It was cool. It was cool seeing the engines.
Yeah,
because that's something we haven't seen before.
Mm-hmm, totally.
Because it's a lot more open than the other from the other wreck.
Right, that we dove on. So that was kind of cool to see. How about fish? Did you see any fish that stood out?
A lot of the same. There were some bigger fish that were cool though.
Parrotfish. We saw the pufferfish.
Yeah, I know you guys saw a lobster. I didn't see it though.
Yeah, he pointed out, their leader Steve pointed out the lobster and everything else. How about the Edge and Vibe? What anything special about Edge and Vibe this time?
Well, this is the first cruise where I've been able to go to Vibe. I could have gone before, just no one's really been there. Mm-hmm. I feel like on this cruise, a lot more kids my age have been going to Vibe. So I guess that's something to keep in mind, that sometimes it's different on every cruise.
Right.
And a lot of younger kids in Edge this time.
Yeah, definitely a lot of younger kids. It might just feel like that because I'm getting older, but still.
Like you're kind of at the top of the age range now for
yeah.
Edge. Yeah.
And there's a big difference, even though what is it? Edge is 11 to 14.
Yeah.
11 to 13.
Yeah.
11 to 14.
I think it's 11 to 14 because there's overlap at both ends.
Yeah.
11 to 14. So when you get in the upper edges, you really start to be quite a bit
there's
older.
There's quite the difference between 11 and 14.
Yeah. And what you want to do and just kind of how you talk and everything else,
yeah,
right?
It's like how you are.
Yeah, how you act.
Maturity levels, yeah.
Yeah.
Although I don't know if we could ever walking around. We did our walk after dinner last night, and there were some high school girls, and I was like, I thought high school girls were a little bit more mature than that, and they were singing and dancing, and
they were having a very good time, but we were like, that is not what we thought.
No, and that's no shades of weather. I'm glad they were having a good time.
Great.
Yeah, I feel like there's been more karaoke in the Vibe than normal, or not in Vibe, in the Edge.
Yeah.
So a lot of girls singing and guys singing too.
It was mainly me.
Mainly
group.
you.
Yeah. Okay. A lot of Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
All right.
Imagine that.
It is the year of Taylor.
Yeah.
She and Beyonce had a year this year. We'll see who it is next year. So, all right, let's talk about Castaway.
There was some Beyonce too.
Yeah, let's talk about Castaway real quick. So it's a little bit cooler day. So we got off and we went bike riding for the first time.
Yeah,
I know a lot of people have done that. What were your thoughts about biking?
I thought it was cool. I've never seen that part of the island before, so that was nice. Climbing up that tower was cool. It gave you a good view of the island because it's completely flat, so you can see across the whole area.
Yeah. So we've run by it about a million. Well, not a million, but on the Castaway Key 5K. But we never ever stopped and have gone up there. But I remember Nova saying it's like this rickety tower of death. So I was expecting.
Well, they repaired it. There's a lot of clearly new boards
Yeah.
on the tower.
Yeah,
So,
Probably from some kind of
hurricane damage. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's definitely not rickety anymore. It's pretty solid. So
Yeah.
great.
Solid.
And
Yeah.
good views once you get up to the top of the island.
Yeah,
too.
and they have a telescope.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
So you can see out in the different estuaries and everything else. So, and then we went all the way over to the adult beach, which we had never done before. We got to see the adult beach,
On the adult restaurant.
the adult restaurant. We saw our main server, Davina. She was over there working, and Swara, who was our
Server last
time. Or
He was the drink guy last time. Or
yeah,
assistant.
beverage. Yeah, so it's good to run into him. That you know what that amazes me. Like that was a year ago,
And they see
and he sees us, and he's like
1,000 people over the course of the year, and that
Yeah.
they reckon. And sometimes it might just be like the combo of the two of you together, like
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like that it's not just that one person looks familiar, but it's like those two people go together. And I remember, whatever. I
Yeah.
don't know how brains work, but but it is
Yeah.
amazing to me that they remember.
right. So did the bike ride, and then we went over to Cookies 2 this time.
Yeah.
Thoughts on the food, Alex?
It's the same as Cookies 1, but
It's the same as it was every other trip to Castle.
But you got the
it's good.
brisket.
yeah, I got the brisket for the first time, and that was actually really good.
You like that better than a burger? You think?
It depends on how I'm feeling. It had like this sweet barbecue sauce on it. It was good.
Okay.
I've had the brisket. I like the brisket.
I will say the burger was better because it was right hot off the grill.
Yes, we
I've
did
had them
like-
before when they're like
when they're a
cold
little-
or-
yeah.
yeah. So if you get one right off the grill, it's a little bit better. It seems like so. And then we went over to the Heads Up Bar.
did?
If you don't know where that is, it's over at Pelican Plunge, kind of a little peninsula past the slides. The slides are closed because
The wind. Yeah.
the wind or the cold or something. Anyways.
And then like the jungle gym in the water is also closed, but that's because of low tide.
Oh yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Well, it was open for a while because.
Yeah, it was the tide change.
And then the tide
Right.
changed. They closed it
Yeah.
because you
And-
can jump off of it, so nobody gets
Yeah.
hurt.
I wonder
We
if
wanted
that's
to
why
go
the
over
slides
there.
are closed. Could it be?
Might
Could it
be.
be a tide issue?
It
I don't
might
think
be
so.
both.
No,
Could be. I think it's wind.
I think it's
It would
windy.
be chilly to be up there.
Yeah, I think it's windy
Yeah.
cold. I don't think anybody's going to go over there anyways. There'd be some poor lifeguards over there.
Yeah.
Freezing to death.
Yeah. But you guys, what did you guys do? You guys went and swam out.
Oh yeah, we went to swim out to this little sandbar in the middle. It was cool. It's really shallow there.
Uh-huh.
So it's not even. There's nowhere that it's really that deep in the
Right.
in the area that you can swim, but there was definitely a lot of seaweed.
Oh, huh.
Next time we come here, we're gonna have to snorkel. And I
Yeah.
think the next
It's been so
time.
long since we've done that. Yeah.
I know.
Depending
then-
on, well, you said depends on how the weather is.
Yeah, the next time
So I
we'll
don't
probably be
wanna
here is
snorkel
like
this.
the next time we'll be here, it'll be spring break at 25 or summer at 25, one of the two, I guess. When we're back to Castaway, so it's a little bit of ways off.
Little ways.
Yeah. Anyways, well, cool. So good time at Castaway. I think people are like all kind of leaving a little bit early, but they'll be the diehards that'll be on the beach until the end.
Till they
right?
make 'em.
Yeah. Until they kick them off. But yeah, that's about it. Any other thoughts about Castaway, Alex?
Food's good. Weather's nice most of the time.
Yeah. Anything? How are your counselors? The counselors in the cruise?
They're
Good.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anybody
I haven't really gotten to know them that well because
Yeah.
Yeah, doing your own thing.
yeah.
Any other just general cruise thoughts from you?
Not really.
Okay.
How do you like the fantasy? How do you like cruising over Christmas?
I prefer being home at Christmas, but it is nice.
Uh-huh.
The food's nice.
What's your favorite ship? Fantasy, Dream, Magic, Wonder, Treasure, or not Treasure, Wish.
Well, I mean, like if you're just gonna like go, if you're not gonna go to like the nice dinners, the Wish is the best because it has like a ton of food
That's true.
options.
Yeah.
Like food wise, I'd say the Wish, but I'd say either the Dream or the Fantasy are my favorite because there's just the most to do there, and there's more space.
Like in the kids club areas, or just the ship in general.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, well, there you go. Dream and Fantasy, and then if you want more food, go on the Wish because they got that is the best part of the Wish. In my
Yeah,
mind, is
Yeah,
the,
that whole food court area.
is that food
whatever,
court
yeah.
area. 1823 and that food court are definitely standouts with the Wish
Yes.
for sure. So, well, I guess we'll just leave it with that. So, there was some Christmas music going on
I know.
Yeah.
here, and
Now we're back to the Caribbean.
yeah, a little bit of
We
Caribbean.
had some Caribbean Christmas.
It was a little Caribbean Christmas, yes. Beach Boys Christmas.
Yeah, so. All right, well, if that, we'll sign out. Thanks for jumping on with us this time, Alex.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you on the next cruise, I'm sure, right?
Maybe.
Maybe. All right.
Actually, really, I think
I'll be 15.
I'm thinking the next one is not.
The next one's in Norway.
Oh, yeah, he'll be
we'll
on
see
the
him on the
next
next
one.
cruise. So we'll get Alex's thoughts from Norway and see how that one works. So, anyways, thanks for coming back and taking a listen, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye.
Well, this is our last snippets. You might be able to hear a little Christmas music, and it's chaos in the lobby as usual. So
Debarkation chaos.
yeah. So with me is Anawake,
Hello.
Alexander,
Andrew.
and Alex.
Hello.
And,
That's a little going to be a family joke.
Yeah.
Our servers somehow mixed up the boys' names and called them the wrong name
The entire week.
So.
So-
And even though we tried to correct it, it was fine.
yeah.
It's,
So we just rolled with it.
right. Yep.
It was kind of funny, actually. So, but you guys probably didn't think it was funny. Yeah. But anyway, so a little bit of chaos. We had the late dinner, so late breakfast, and now we're getting off the ship and heading over to meet Christy and Dave and Blake over at Yachtsman's for more food. Although I don't think we're going to be eating very much.
No.
Anyways, overall, last night of the ship was super fun too. There's just like an energy on the last night, especially on these Christmas cruises. I think just in general there is, but I think on the Christmas cruises it's just like an energy. They had the Christmas music going, and a lot of the people were out in the lobby, and people are taking pictures and
Pajamas again.
A lot of people did the pajama thing. We ran into Ashley, the amazing cruise director.
Right.
Got to talk to her, had some laughs with her for a little bit, and then we just kind of. We kept our losing streak, although how was our trivia there?
We almost won. We came so close. We got to be in a tiebreaker round.
Yeah, so here's the question for you guys out there. How many episodes of Full House were there? And if you went over, you lost, which we didn't go over. and the closest wins. So how many episodes, what did we guess?
We guessed 100.
How many were there?
192.
192. So if you're Full House fans, I guess.
The winning team picked 150.
Yeah. So we kept our losing streak alive for trivia, but after that, had dinner and then had a good time. Just made some connections with some of the cast members.
Right. So kind of wandered around and said goodbye and chatted with people. It was lovely.
If you're on the fantasy, go see Nigel and Felice and Ooh La La. Yeah. Howard in La Piazza.
Yes.
And Parnell up in Meridian.
Yes.
All just amazing people. So we'll start with you, Andrew. You didn't talk in the last one. What were your overall thoughts of this cruise?
I think it was definitely a fun cruise. It was cool to meet everyone. It's always, the longer cruises are also fun. I liked the Christmas themes that they had at the beginning, the first couple days, and I guess it felt like almost like two cruises in a way.
Yeah.
Because the first part was Christmas and the second part was like the actual stops and everything.
So what was your highlights from the two stops?
I liked diving in St. Thomas a lot. That was definitely probably the best part.
What'd you see in the dive, or what was kind of a highlight from the dive?
Lots of coral reefs and lots of fish and stuff, which was super cool, and then shipwreck, which was also interesting to see.
Yeah. So Andrew is our instigator for diving, and he got the whole family into it, and so we really enjoy it and looking forward to next time we come down to the Caribbean to do some diving. Alex, how about you? Kind of final sum up of this cruise.
Probably same thing as Andrew. I like all the Christmas stuff. I like the decorations. People are nice as always. I definitely feel like there was a lot more energy on this cruise than some of the other ones, just because of the holiday season.
Excitement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Most of the same stuff. All the cast members were really nice. Kids were nice. It was overall just a fun cruise.
Yeah, he had both of you guys had pretty big groups of kids, didn't you? They were kind of hanging out with. So, and out until the wee hours of the morning last night, just hanging out, having a good time, and saying goodbye, I guess.
Yeah, for sure. You got to see everyone on the last day.
How about if anybody's got some older kids, if they have a phone, you guys pretty much had a group chat going the whole time, right?
Yeah, on text messages, because those actually will send on the Wi-Fi.
So, anyways, well, I guess that's going to be a wrap-up. Overall, I think this has been a really fun cruise. I would love to do it again next year, but we got some other plans next year. But I think 2025,
we'll be back.
We've got another Christmas cruise in our sights.
Our list, yeah.
So waiting for those, or wait for summer 2025 to come out, and then
winter.
Then the winter of 2025 to see where we end up. But I think if if I was a betting person, it'd be back on the fantasy. What do you think?
Hopefully so.
Yeah, hopefully so. Hopefully she does she's got a 7-day cruise this coming Christmas, so let's keep our fingers crossed that she keeps them rolling again too.
Exactly.
So, all right, with that, I guess we will get out of here. Looks like the line's moving, and we're gonna
go join the chaos.
We're gonna join the chaos. Thanks for all of you for coming back and taking a listen, and we'll see you next time when we are on another cruise with our Snippets. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.
The DCL podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.